Hey, what's up guys? I'm BTC. I want to talk to you about something in Overwatch that I've been hearing about over the last couple days, and it's some really bad information, and I wanted to clear it up so that you guys could better understand it. And the topic I'm talking about is the existence of a tier list in Overwatch. And I want to tell you with absolute 100% certainty, there is undeniably a tier list in Overwatch. And I know as soon as I said that, there's going to be people in the comment section furiously typing away, saying, oh, well, I heard that there isn't such a thing, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. Yes, there is kind of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic in the game. Yes, you can counterpick, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't matter. There are some characters that are objectively better than others. For example, when it comes to damage dealers, there's a reason why all the high-level teams in these tournaments run one or two McCrees all the time. It's because he is objectively the best damage dealer in the game, which is why he's probably about to get hit with the Nerf bat pretty soon by Blizzard. I mean, everybody expects him to get hit with the Nerf bat because he's so good. Now, it's not just McCree. There are other cases too. Look at all the high-level games. Why do you always see the same characters over and over? You see McCree, you see Pharah, you see Reinhardt, Winston, Lucio, and Mercy. Every now and again, you'll see, a Zarya in there, you'll see a Zenyatta in there, maybe a Reaper and a Soldier 76, but the go-to characters are going to be the McCree, the Reinhardt, the Mercy, the Lucio, that sort of stuff. And Widow as well. She's been doing incredibly well since the launch of the game. They changed it a bunch in beta, but anyways, you don't see Junkrats. You don't see Roadhogs. I mean, if you do, you might as well buy a lottery ticket because it's that rare. Those characters are just not as good. That's why there is a tier list. Characters like McCree, like Pharah, Reinhardt, Winston, Mercy, Lucio, those are top-tier characters. And it's because they are objectively better than their counterparts. If you have a situation where you need a tank with high mobility, you can either pick Winston or D.Va. 99 out of 100 times, you're going to take Winston. Why? Because he is objectively better. These top-tier characters have stats, skills, and a play style that is just simply better. It's not opinion, it's just fact. These characters work better. Now, for those that would continue to argue that there is no tier list, I'd simply ask you this. Why is it in the high-level tournaments, when the teams are allowed to run multiples of a single character, why do they run two McCrees instead of a McCree and a Tracer? Why do they run two Winstons instead of a Winston and a D.Va? Because Winston is just objectively better than D.Va. Because McCree is just objectively better than Tracer. When the teams are given the option to run multiples of the same character, they're always going to pick the best character possible. The only time they pick something else is when they're not allowed to double or triple up. So one of the reasons why I think people are led to believe there is no tier list is because a lot of the recent tier lists are absolute garbage. The creators seem to rank characters based on what they'd like, as opposed to which characters are actually better. And also, another big problem with these lists is they put all the characters on one huge list from best to worst, and that's just really not how it works. So back in beta, I made a tier list, which is now really terribly outdated, and it's not valid anymore. But I had 5 tier ranks on it, and even that, on hindsight, I think it was too much. Really, I think Overwatch at this point has 3 tier lists. You have the top tier, the middle tier, and the low tier. Top tier is going to be the incredibly strong, best-in-their-class characters that you play almost all the time. The middle tier is going to be, hey, maybe we need something slightly different to deal with something kind of pick. And then the low tier is almost never going to get picked, except in extreme rare circumstances. Why is this? Again, it's because when you compare a Widow to a Hanzo, Widow is just objectively better than Hanzo. Winston, better than Diva. McCree, better than Reaper. I love Reaper. He is one of my favorite characters to play, but he's not as good as McCree. It's just not the way it is. Alright, so for a properly done tier list, where do the characters go? Well, for top tier, and these are the best characters, the ones that are going to be picked the most, and these are the ones that teams will pick multiples of if they have the option to, that top tier is going to be McCree, Pharah, Widow, Reinhardt, Winston, Zarya, Lucio, and Mercy. And then for middle tier characters, these are ones that might substitute for the top tier. It's going to be Genji, Reaper, Soldier 76, maybe Tracer depending on the situation, maybe Mei depending on the team, and then Zenyatta. And then all the other characters, which is Bastion, Hanzo, Junkrat, Torb, Diva, Roadhog, and Symmetra, all those characters are basically low tier because they're not going to be picked. Except for very rare situations. Like, there are some maps where Symmetra might be picked on defense, like, right away, but as soon as the first point is gone, they swap off of her. You're not going to see Divas getting picked that much because Winston is just better. You're not going to see Hanzo's getting picked because Widow is just better. And then McCree just blows everybody else out of the water. So, like, there are characters that are objectively better, and the teams are going to try to use them as much as possible. Again, I said this earlier, but there's a reason why some of these high-level teams will run 2 or 3 McCrees when they're allowed to, because it's such a powerful character. So don't tell me that McCree is on par rock, paper, scissors with, Tracer and Soldier and Reaper. He's not. He's better. He is objectively better. Now, it should be noted that this is a higher skill tier list, because for a lower skill tier list, for example, Bastion is very powerful against lower skill players. So when tier lists are made, they're always made for like the top end. They're not made for the lower end of the skill pool. So anyways, but that's it. I'm sure some people are still gonna deny it and argue, but again, I mean, all you have to do is watch some of these high skill tournaments, watch the some of the best players in the world, and look at the characters that they pick. There's a reason why they pick certain characters over other characters, and that's because those characters are simply better. So, that's it. Leave all your feedback, leave your nasty comments, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.